For the past 4 years, I've been gifting a custom planner to my sister. The first year, it was a custom AmandaRachLee Doodle Planner. It was the year that it came out. I was very excited about it, and I wanted to share that excitement with my sister. It was a beautiful book, but it was quite expensive. And at the end of the year, we did a bit of reflection, and it turned out that she barely used it. The following year, I made her a custom bullet journal with an Archer and Olive notebook, which was what I was using at the time. And I think I'm sensing a bit of a theme here in that her present is typically reflective of whatever planner or planner system I'm really into at the time. I guess I just get really excited about it, and I want to share that with her. The following year after that, I made another bullet journal, but I made some tweaks based on how she had used it that previous year. I did it one more time last year, and this year, I have decided to step away from the A5 size and try out a traveler's notebook. There are a few reasons why I want to try out this system for her. The main things are that she's a teacher, so she doesn't actually use a planner for her teaching responsibilities. She has to create a lesson plan every day, and that happens on her computer, and she does that digitally. So she doesn't need the space for her teaching plans. What she does use it for is the monthly, so she really enjoys the monthly. She also really likes, or maybe she's just saying that to appease me, the decoration that I do for her for each month. So I have a lot of fun playing with my different art supplies and creating a theme for her for every month, so I'm going to repeat that. And she doesn't really need a lot of space for her weeklies. In the A5, I was designating one full page to her weekly, and then the following year, I basically did the monthly spread, and then I gave her blank pages. And even then, she wasn't really using it when we reviewed her last journal. And so this year, I've decided to try paring it down even more and give her a bit of structure for her monthly and her weekly, a little bit of note space, because she said that when she pulls it out, it's usually to take notes, like if she needs to jot down a grocery shopping list, or if she needs to take notes from a doctor's appointment for her kids. And so I thought the traveler's notebook would be a great option for her because she likes thicker paper, which eliminates the Hobonichi, because I did consider getting her a Hobonichi Weeks. She likes the portability, and she also really loves the color blue. And so it so happens that I have a blue leather traveler's notebook that is my first traveler's notebook cover that I ever got. I do have a lot of sentimental attachment to it, but the truth is I'm really not using this notebook as much as I think it deserves to be used. I don't quite have the heart to sell it, but it would bring me a lot of joy to know that someone in my family is enjoying it. So I'm going to gift it to her. And if she ends up not liking it, I will take it back. Currently, it is being used as I'm using an insert to document my fiber art projects. So I can always move this to a different notebook or just keep it as a separate insert. And then I also have my worry journal. The way I was using this journal is whenever I would have a worry and I would notice that I wasn't able to function, or I would sort of get into that freeze mode, I would open this up, I would write down the worry, get it out of my mind so that I could go back to whatever I was trying to do at the time. So I really like having this worry journal, and it was nice to have it in this book, but I'm also really excited to give it to my sister and see if this is a system that she will enjoy. And I think I'm not going to document the entire process of me decorating it, because this is typically something I do in the evenings when I'm relaxing. It takes me a long time to do a whole year in advance, but what I'll probably do is a flip through when I'm done, and I'll just tell you what my loose plan is for now. So for the weeklies, I have picked up these pre-dated weekly memo booklets. So I think I mentioned that blue is her favorite color, so I think it's actually quite perfect that these books are blue. Sometimes I decorate and cover the fronts, or sometimes I decorate the covers. I'm not sure if I will. I'll think about it, but if I don't, how great does that look? It looks amazing. So I don't think I'm gonna do too much in these notebooks in the way of decorating, but maybe I'll put some fun dates in here that are meaningful to the both of us. So for example, like her husband's birthday or her children's birthdays, even though of course I know she knows them, but maybe I'll customize it that way. In case you're not familiar with the weekly memo horizontal, they come in 2 books. So the first book is the lighter blue, and that is for January to June. It starts off with a overview of the entire year for 2024 and 2025. And then there are like a monthly overview type of index that takes you all the way to December. So that's actually a good thing, because if she's using one insert at a time, she can put all of her dates for the entire year, and then she can transfer anything that is in here into the next book when she moves into that book. So I'm really glad that they actually do the entire year. And then it goes straight into the weeklies. So I usually gift her the planner for Christmas, so maybe I'll have some fun filling out this page. I haven't decided yet, but she won't really be able to use this until January, really. Realistically, she'll maybe be able to use it for this week, but she'll really be able to start using it in January. And then it's basically the weekly layouts is on this side she has her Monday to Sunday, and I like that there's also a reference calendar for the current month and the next month at the top, and then she's got a whole page of notes. So I'm really hoping that this notes page will be sufficient for her, because when we flipped through her planner for 2023, a lot of her weeks were quite bare. And she said the most useful thing was the monthly view and then the notes pages, but even then she didn't necessarily need an entire book. So the idea here is to slim down her planner, because it's not something that she completely relies on, given the fact that the majority of her job happens digitally, but this is something that she can kind of have as like an everyday carry. So I'm hoping this will be helpful, and if she fills up notes, she can always use some of these other pages. So that is the weekly. Yeah, and then at the back she's got this blank page and then this information page, and then the second insert is the same, so it has the monthlies. It actually starts in July, which makes sense. So when she moves into this book, it's just July, actually all the way until February of next year, which is nice if she needs those extra dates. And then it goes straight into the weekly and the notes on the side. And then got the blank pages in the back. I guess there's actually extra in the back, and and then this information. So that's the weekly. I don't really have a lot of plans for doing too much to these, but we'll see how much energy I have after I'm finished her monthly. So for her monthly, what I'm thinking about doing is using, I happen to have a blank grid insert. What I will do with the monthly here is I will probably dedicate one entire page as like a fun cover page for her, and then I'll probably do the next page as the actual monthly calendar overview, which I know she likes. And then I haven't decided yet, but I might leave some notes pages in between the months, or I might just leave the rest blank so that she also has the option to only use this insert and maybe not use these weeklies if she doesn't find them helpful. So there are options. This will likely be just enough for the monthly. And so in terms of decorating, I am going to try to work with what I already have. That is part of the fun of creating these little scrapbooks, scrapbook monthly spreads for her. It's just fun to not overthink things and just grab all those little bits and pieces that I've been hoarding over the years. So I've got some washi tape. This is just the tiniest sampling of washi tape that I have. So I will be digging through my stash. I've actually pretty much banned myself from buying washi tape for the time being until I work through the stash that I already have. So I'm excited to use some of those. I've also got this tearaway calendar that I got in 2019, and I've been very slowly working through using these cute little drawings. And so what I usually do is I'll just cut them out and kind of treat them like stickers and include them in my little collages. So I'll probably use things like this. And then in terms of drawing the calendars out, I'm gonna make use of some of my document ink samples because whatever I draw in here, it needs to be highlighter friendly and not too finicky. So I also have a sample of the Platinum Carbon Black somewhere. So I haven't decided which of these I'll use, but overall I'm really excited to try these out. And I can't think of a better use for them. So in terms of inks, that's what I'll be using. I might film little bits and pieces of me working on this. It usually takes me a few days to a few weeks to put it all together because I usually, as I said, I'll do it in front of the TV at night or on the weekends. I'm starting early intentionally because the first few years that I made this, I left it to the last minute, and then it was quite exhausting to set up an entire year for her. So we're gonna start early, and I'll try to document some of this along the way if you are interested. And of course, when I am done, I will do a flip through to show you the final product. Just know that it's not going to be like a perfectly curated, well thought out, color coordinated type of flip through. It's really just going to be making use of what I have and have it be an exercise of not overthinking how I put this together, because that takes the fun away from it, and I want to have fun putting together this present for her. So that is all for this introduction. Depending on how long this video is, maybe this will just be like the intro video, and then I'll have a follow-up video to share my progress, or I'll just have like a final flip through. So I hope you enjoy this little mini series of making a custom TN planner for my sister. So last night I was able to get the majority of the outlining for the monthlies done. And the way I did that was I started by outlining each month in pencil and very carefully ensuring that I had the dates right. I really hope I did that right because it took a very long time. And then I left a blank page in between each of the calendars because this is the cover page for each month that I'll be decorating. This is the primary reason why I didn't go with a pre-dated monthly insert, because I did want to have a little bit of fun with the cover. So yeah, I've got my months done. At the front here, I plan on having a 2024 year at a glance, but it's been challenging to fit all 12 months on one page because the boxes don't quite lend themselves to fit that. So I'm gonna have to tweak this a little bit before I fill it out in pen. And that's pretty much it so far. So I like to do the outlining first because once I start decorating the fronts of the months, it might get a little bit more bulky and difficult to be precise with my lines and things like that. And then after December, there's a few blank pages. So I haven't decided if I'm gonna add anything else to it. I have been really inspired by the Hobonichi's interview with myself. So I've been kind of tempted to maybe include something fun like that in the back of this book. But I also think in the off chance that my sister doesn't enjoy the weekly inserts and just wants to use this monthly, it might be nice for her to have these spare blank pages in the back if she wants to just take this insert out of the TN cover and use that on its own. So I might prioritize flexibility without adding too much structure to it. So we'll see. But the next step for me is I'm going to try to finish this at a glance page and then start having fun decorating the themes for each month. So I'll probably film a couple of clips here and there. I'm not going to film my whole process because, as I said, this is more of a passion project that I don't want to add too much pressure to, so I will chip away at this over the next month or so. My deadline is December 25th, so I'll finish it when I finish it, but I'll update you along the way with a follow-up video. In terms of the ink, I had a lot of fun trying out this sample of Platinum Carbon Black. So I got this from my local shop, Wonder Pens. And I've heard that this is a really good waterproof black ink, and I was torn between using this platinum carbon black and the Diatramentis archive ink that I have a sample of. And the primary reason why I decided to try this one is, number one, I've already tried the archive ink and I like it a lot. But the second reason is this is more readily accessible for me in Canada. I had been having a tough time finding full bottles of the Diatramentis ink, and so I was motivated to try this, and after last night I'm quite happy with it. So I inked it up in my Pilot Metropolitan, which I also got from Wonder Pens, and this was in a fine nib, and I used my Traveler's Company brass ruler for the lines, and then I just used a random pencil, and I created this with paper, this pencil topper with paper and washi tape, just to prevent it from getting pencil all over my notebooks. So yeah, that's my update. I will share another update I'll try to take some clips of me continuing to decorate my sister's planner, and then I'll probably share that in a second video, and then my final video will be a flip through of what it turns out. So that will probably come later in December, just because, again, I don't want to rush myself to finish this planner. Yeah, I'll have to work on it in between work and school and just general life stuff that are higher on my priority list. But yeah, if you are interested, feel free to follow along, and I will update you on where I'm at soon. All right, thanks. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in a comment down below, and I will answer them as soon as possible. And I'd love to know if you have ever made a custom planner for a friend or a family member. If so, I'd love to hear what that experience was like. And if you're still here, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.